Happy Motivate Monday. This is your daily morning motivational message. Listen, every day it's important to take care of ourselves, to take time out for our personal cultivation. Externally, in terms of our hygiene, our well being, internally, what are we putting into our body? The foods that we eat, the water that we drink, the things that we avoid, fried foods, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, etc. We do certain things to maintain a healthy environment, and sometimes we fall off. Sometimes we slip and we have to get back up again. Sometimes we have to hit the reset button, hit the start over button because we fell off the wagon. I was eating sweets every day for the last 4 days. I was indulging in alcohol because I was emotionally, checked out. I was looking for a balm. And so I engaged in some activity that was actually negative and toxic to my own body in order to emotionally feel better. We fall off. We don't go to the gym. We start and then we stop. We start, then we stop. We don't work out. We say we're going to work out. We do, we don't. And these are all part of the human experience. So imagine if we're doing that in our physical life, think about what's happening in our internal life if we don't take the time to plug into a message like this every morning, to be mindful of the words and the language that we are utilizing to have conversations with ourselves. That personal conversation is always going to be the most important conversation that you have. When things are not going well, how do you talk to you about you? When life is upside down, how do you talk to you about you? When there are unexpected events, when there are tragedies that happen, when there are things that you have to contend with that maybe you didn't anticipate, maybe you never saw or thought about these things happening and they're happening right now in real time. And again, it's like when you have the rug pulled from underneath you, you have to figure out how to get your footing so that you could stand back up again and plant yourself in some solid ground. Well, these are all part of life's condition, and how you're talking to yourself and what you're choosing to focus on in those moments are the most important moments. It's easy to be up when everything is up. That's when we get soft. That's when we start to take things for granted. How many times in your life have you had a good rhythm? You've been in a good groove and you almost feel untouchable. You almost feel like you can't make a wrong move. And maybe the ego starts to creep in a little bit and the ego starts to take over and you start thinking that you all that and you're really not, but you start thinking that way and then you start behaving that way. And the next thing you know, boom, you get humbled. Life's going to come and slap you upside the head. How many times have you heard people say, man, in a million years, I never thought that I was not going to be working here. I've been here for 15 years. I've given this job everything. I've given this company everything. I've been one of their best employees, and now they got bought by another company, and I just was given my walking papers. It's not fair. And so that happens. It happens every day. And there are things that are going to happen that we can't necessarily see around the corner. However, we can anticipate. We can prepare our bodies and our minds and our spirits so that when those inevitable storms of life come and they hit, and they will, no one is immune to this. Everybody's going to be subject to trial and tribulation. The question is, are you living your life in such a way that you stay in preparation mode? Not that you're looking for negative things to happen, not that you're always on guard looking for someone to try to take advantage of you, expecting somebody to do you wrong, to betray you, to lie to you. No, it's not that. It's that you understand the patterns of life. There are patterns. Patterns are predictable, just like the seasons. See, I appreciate the seasons. I remember we were living in California, and I just knew internally I did not want to raise my kids in California because it's just really nice pretty much all the time. I can count on one hand the number of times that we had unfavorable weather, literally on one hand. And I thought to myself, if my kids grow up like this and that's their life, they're going to think life is supposed to be comfortable all the time. They're going to subconsciously think and expect for things to be kind of easy and flowing and nice and sunny. And no, that is not life. You don't learn from good times. You learn from challenging times. You don't grow when things are great. You grow when things are not great because that's going to reveal your character. So me being in sales, all the time we talk about the fact that the yeses build your bank account, the nos build your character. The no's build your intestinal fortitude. The no's build your stick-to-itiveness. The no's build your persistence. The yeses just build your bank account. That's easy. It's easy when a client says yes, because all I have to do is just, get the job going and the money's coming in. All I have to do is service the client, the money's coming in. But it's what you're doing in the process that gets you to the yes. It's who you become in the process of overcoming the no's. And so that inner conversation that you're having when you're dealing with the inevitable ups and downs of life, when you're dealing with the ebbs and flows, the peaks and the valleys, it's how you talk to yourself. Because when you're peaking, when things are going well, that is when you need to have a healthy amount of paranoia. That is when you need to be a little more on guard. That is when you have to hold yourself to a higher standard of accountability. See, when you're dating, everything is awesome. It's nice, it's energetic, everything is new. You want to impress the person, everything they say is awesome, and everything they do is great. Well, guess what? The very things that you're attracted to in the beginning when you're dating are the very things that are going to drive you crazy once you're in that relationship 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. So don't get it twisted. You have to be as vigilant in how you show up in year 5 as you do in year 10 as you did on day 1. And so one thing that I will take away from a company that is successful, even though I think it's more of a monopoly now, but one of their core tenets is, every day is day 1. Every day is an opportunity to hit the reset button. Every day is a day to come at the day with a new energy and sense of vigor and service and excitement, with a sense of having to prove something. And so if you start your day having to prove to yourself that you are worthy, understanding that your dreams and goals are important, taking some time to spend time in those dreams and those goals, in the playground of your imagination, in the cultivation of your vision, having that clear and concise mental picture. When you start your day with that mindset and that come from day 1, I have something to prove. Day 1, I want to prove to my partner that I'm worthy to be that person's partner. I want to prove to my children that I'm a worthy father. I want to prove to my business that I am worthy of owning this business and building it and servicing tens of thousands of clients. I want to prove to myself that I have the discipline to put the right foods in and say no to the wrong foods. I want to prove to myself that I can get up when I don't feel like getting up. I can go to the gym when I don't feel like working out. I can do the calls when I'm tired and exhausted and I don't want to make any more calls. I can prove to myself that I have the intestinal fortitude, the self-discipline, and the stick-to-itiveness to follow through, to keep my commitment to my commitment, and to do it especially when I don't feel like doing it. Because if you only do what you feel, you'll never get what you know you're capable of. But if you do what you know, that's going to overcome what you feel, because you're not always going to feel like doing it. You're not always going to feel up. You're going to have oftentimes when you don't feel like doing a doggone thing. It's going to be the worst day. You're going to feel completely unmotivated. And sometimes you might even feel defeated. Well, you have to fight through that, because it's who you are and how you show up on your worst days that's going to determine the length and the quality of your best days. So I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to engage this week on our daily morning motivational messages. Please share this, bless somebody with this message, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. And if you know what I'm talking about, if you're feeling me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.